think we have Rachel.
So mine's an internal one, and it is based around the events team in marketing, which is currently all changed. There's new people in the roles, they're going to change things up. Equally, they're not performing either, so for the right reasons. However, the troubles come with the lead time that we can source product to change the customer offering. So in GM, for example, we worked at minus 26 weeks as a minimum. We'd ideally work plan in minus 6 months. So when someone comes in new and wants to change everything that launches in 6 weeks' time, for the right reasons, it's causing issues. And the big stumbling block behind that is the teams running it, obviously it's new and trying to make an impact, but also the event managers that sit, the twos basically, have been told for the last 12 months they're green, and actually they're all about to be ambered, because they're not as controlled. So it's the team that's trying to deliver it, the leader has no faith in, and the categories are learning it's a waste of time dealing with them, so we're not getting anywhere.
Performance-wise, they're green.
Yeah,
purple.
so you've been told performance-wise they're green and they're really not. So now somebody's gone in with fresh eyes, go to the benchmark, it's not there, so it's...
Sorry, so they've been told by their boss that they're green.
Predecessing boss,
but there's a new boss, and now on proper full-scale evaluation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, can I just double check? We're going with Donna here, aren't we? Because you've got a couple of names. But
Yeah, I
think
did,
Donna
yeah.
was agreed upon.
Yeah. So the girl who's leading that team now, the three that's gone in there, sees it for what it is trying to change it, but her resources have been massively stretched because she's trying to change the world, but she's also having to do a lot of it herself because she's not got the team to deliver either.
So which techniques are you going to be particularly focusing on?
Whilst I know her, I don't know her massively well, so I'm not sure which box I'd put her in. I've definitely seen strokes of all of them, so well, not so much green, but I've definitely seen flashes of all of them so far, so I'm not sure where she falls. But we do know each other. She comes from a commercial trading background, so the reciprocation I get, there is definitely things we can do or I can do to help back, so I think we need to go down that angle. We don't dislike each other. My objective is to get to a point where she has to recognise it's not viable. So my objective is to get to the point where this process, we're going to have to take the pain of running two things. One is fixing what you currently want, and one is planned as it's going to be, which is going to be quite painful when there's no resource to do it, because even the resource that was there isn't. It's also the visibility of the event plan. So they're trying to change it, but they're not telling anyone. So we can't see it, we can't see what's going, there's no engagement to get there. And we don't see what's coming. To the point of things have changed for 6 weeks' time. And we've got 15 million quid of stock bought, ready to go. But they're changing for the right reasons, and they're not, bearing in mind this team aren't targeted on margin, stock, own turnover. So,
Brilliant.
Hi Don, how are you?
Hi Rachel, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. This catch-up's a bit overdue. How are you finding the job?
Yeah, it's a bit overwhelming at the moment actually, but yeah, there's lots to do, lots to fix, lots to change. So busy.
Yeah. I'm hoping I can help you a little bit with them.
Oh, good.
But we can work together at least to get there. So my objective for today is pretty much to get us back on track a little bit. I feel like we've lost our way between the categories and the GM team.
Okay.
And that's with a change. I think you're in acknowledgement of that as well. That's just with a change in people and changing the way we're performing right now, which we support massively, but we need a bit more visibility to be able to get us all there together. And I think we need to work a little bit more aligned to deliver that as best we can.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's something we'd always all like to work towards.
Yeah.
Just working together as much as we can.
Yeah.
But you know, you do understand that obviously that there have been a lot of changes within the team, so we're really trying to fix things.
Yeah.
Long term, that's our goal.
Absolutely.
And I know that's thrown you guys a little bit, and I do apologise for that. But that's where we're headed at the moment.
I understand. I think my objective probably from today is just to come out of here knowing, okay, how are we going to manage the short term? in
Right.
order to gain the long term. I appreciate we're not going to get to where we need to be right now.
Yeah.
So let's meet somewhere in the middle where we can find a solution that gets us both through the next 8 weeks.
Okay, so what are your short-term concerns?
My short-term concerns are some of the changes in the plan we've got for all the right reasons that you're making. Completely support that. However, I've got a risk. I've got a stock we've already bought for events that are already planned,
Okay.
and at the moment, no space plan to deliver them.
Right. So, what do you propose that we do about that?
I think we're going to need to look at two things. One is the plan that you want to put in place. So the one you want to put in place to replace what's already there
Yeah.
is actually not deliverable because you want different stock and a different customer offer that we can't go and buy for now.
I'm not sure I agree, but go on.
We physically can't go and get that stock. However, what you think we've got already is not strong enough. So I'm happy to look at whether we can wait and give on some of the margin to get a stronger customer offer as we can possibly get. But we can't change the whole event
Why not?
because we can't physically buy new product within 6 weeks across the whole of gym. This is not just my category.
So why is it just 6 weeks? I thought we said we agreed on earlier. Or...
So what was agreed upon earlier is £15 million worth of stocks out there ready to go. We're ready to go. But you want to change it because you don't like it.
Okay, well, there's no way you can accommodate that.
No. I can work with you, I can work certainly with you to flex some of that.
And when is the earliest we could get that stock?
6 months time.
So you're telling me something that we need in 6 weeks you can't get for 6 months?
Absolutely.
Has this been flagged up to us before?
Yes.
When?
So with your predecessor, and that's why the critical path is in place.
Uh-huh.
So I think there's a middle ground.
Okay.
There's absolutely a middle ground where we can tweak some bits and pieces.
Because this is an enormous, this is a really big obstacle for us, obviously.
Absolutely.
Because we did want that change to be in place.
Yeah.
And that this is going to throw all our plans off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a bit concerned, and I'm a bit concerned that we haven't all worked together on this a bit more, and the alarm bells haven't been going off a bit more. Because obviously, I'm new to this role.
Absolutely. I think there's a multitude of communication channels that have probably fallen over with transition of people.
Right.
Between our teams and your team as well.
Okay.
And I think doing what's right for the customer is really, really important. On the way of getting there, we need to meet halfway somewhere to get both. So the products we've bought actually are right at the time. They're not probably as strong as you would get if you could pick new, as you are now. However, they're in the business and they're in the right ballpark. So I think we need to get there and understand, perhaps by sharing the vision a little bit earlier for the forward-coming events, that's where we can make our real impact.
And what impact is that going to have on my resources for my team? Realistically.
I think very little in the sense of the original plans have already been done. So we just need to go back to those in the very short term.
Okay. So we have to go back, and when are we going to be able to put our new plans in place? Because obviously we want to make these changes as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there are elements that can be started pretty much immediately with pricing and maybe the communication of the customer offer. I think we can absolutely work together to get there very, very quickly. But in terms of product sourcing, the absolute earliest we can start looking at that is Christmas.
That's not really what we wanted, is it? I really don't want to go down this route. I mean, you've got to look at things. Our resources are really stretched, and we do have the prerogative to change events.
Yeah, and
for plans, if the plan isn't strong enough, and we strongly felt that plan wasn't strong enough.
And I think that the opportunity for us is to identify that earlier going forwards.
But are you telling me you definitely can't do anything sooner than 6 months?
Not on the product, I can't. But in terms of taking it to market, absolutely yes we can. And could we upweight some of the offers to get to a stronger messaging, which is what you've asked for? Absolutely yes we can. I think there are some other tweaks we can make to make this event stronger and deliver a bit more money through the bottom line on it, absolutely. But I think our opportunity here is, whilst there's one part to change the event in 6 months' time going forward, actually our opportunity here is to change people's mindsets now for that. So there may be a small hit in terms of resource and work level initially to rework and get our plan.
All the work we've been doing is wasted then.
Not not wasted, because I think there's some huge learnings that have come out of this that are going to benefit us massively in 6 months' time.
Learnings are great, but
6 months is still our biggest trading period.
but I have been pushing the team on this. So you can understand that there's going to be a lot of, disappointment. There's going to be a lot of tensions with this.
I appreciate.
I just wish we'd all kept each other informed a little bit more. I wish the transitions had been a little smoother.
I guess with due respect, the transition has to be both ways as well. So at the moment we have elements of your team working in isolation and not communicating. So that causes problems. I think by opening the floodgates we need to get all the issues out, confront them and acknowledge we're not going to be able to fix everything overnight, but we certainly can in the near future.
And so what do you suggest? What's the way forward? Because, obviously, I am new to this role, so I haven't been in this situation before. And obviously I don't want this to have a negative impact on my team.
Absolutely.
And I think it's going to have a very negative impact on them. And I just want to know how we can soften that blow.
I think we could definitely help there by bringing your teams and my teams together and allowing them to work it through together. I think they'll come out of this by learning an awful lot from each other and showing each other their frustrations and their ways of working going forwards. They can come up with a plan together by collaboratively doing it instead of doing it behind closed doors and just showing people the outcome. They'll bring my teams with them, they'll bring the categories with them, and we'll all get to the outcome we want, which is a much stronger event with a much better customer proposition.
So eventually what we're saying is, okay, we've got to go with what we've got now.
Absolutely.
But you're saying to pull our sort of resources and everyone come together for the Christmas event.
And we can all come together. I think by sharing the plan, so my first step would be, let's share the plan and let's not keep it hidden.
Okay, so you want me to be
If I
cards
could
on
ask
the table?
you, yeah, that would be fantastic. If I bring back to you, cards on the table, what stock have we got? Could you can help us. Do you want to relook at it and recut it in a different way? The stock I've got has got to be used, but you can recut it to shape a different event if you wanted to.
I mean, could you come and tell the team with me and could you explain some of this?
Absolutely.
I feel like I don't really have the experience to sort of justify this now to my team.
Yeah, and I think we can take them with us. There's going to be lots of mistakes we make along the way that we can share and learn from. This isn't a mistake, it's just a different way of dealing with it and we can't get to the critical path. No one's made an individual human error.
It really is gutting though, isn't it? All the work we've done and...
I don't think it's gutting, I think it's just delayed for 6 months.
Okay. Well...
And by changing the processes we'll get there.
Look, I really appreciate your support, but yeah, I think you're right. I think we're going to have to work on this together.
Yeah, let's just put in place the plan visible to everyone. We'll catch up every week and let's get ourselves back on track and let's get Sim and the team next week straight away to iron everything out. We can get the next 6 weeks covered in the next 4 or 5 days and the next 6 months.
Well, I can't thank you enough actually, Rachel. Thank you for reassuring me. It's been a bit stressful, so yeah, let's
You've
try
done a great
to
job and a challenge.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're odd. Nice one. Go on then, why was it odd?
It's odd because it's internal, I guess, and I didn't dislike the girl doing it. And actually, that probably is a similar, and she probably fights a bit more, but there are some things you can't argue with, it's just facts. There's only so far you can influence, I guess, that it's not physically possible. So I guess my example is not probably as, my scenario is not as stretching on the influence, and I guess as much as some of the others.
So, because she could turn around and say, well, fine, but I'm now pissed off at you and I don't want to collaborate.
Yeah.
She might not be able to carry on, but she just might not want to have
If it
she might be embarrassed.
WS in it all.
Yeah. Because you need to get her to be honest about the fact that there's been a mistake, which isn't her fault, but so...
But I think, throughout that you were so clear on the unpalatable truths that were coming out. There was no, you were bringing Donna back and going, no, this is what I'm saying, this is how it is, to get to something. So, whilst there was no does everybody else think? Any feedback for that?
I think you clearly understood her objective and actually what she needs to achieve. So it was quite a lot of empathy around, I appreciate the position you're in, but you, like you say, you were really clear with what was flexible and what wasn't, and wanting to work to find a solution together and realistic on timescales. So I thought that was really clear.
You use reciprocity brilliant a lot of the time, but really well. And also combined that with authority. At one moment you switched around and said, "You can help us." It's like brilliant. So you're kind of both stating that you also you know more than in a particular case, but also with peers. It was very clever. And then how she could actually do you a favour, and somehow it was flattering. So yeah, it's good to know about that.
Well, a good recap at the end as well in terms of the key next steps. Make sure it's still clear. The other thing I wanted at the beginning, it didn't actually impact the relationship, but you started off by saying it's all a bit shit, and it's all a bit. But she also had her opinion at the beginning. I think she would have told you it was all a bit shit. I think you have to be as direct.
Yeah, she has.
It transpired through actually that she much wanted the right way to the conversation, but if that was me, I probably would have been a bit pissed off. Whereas actually, I would have told you the same thing anyway if you asked the question.
That's a good shout. To that point, my only feedback on that, to that similar point, is at the end is, I think because I've been burnt by it, it's by saying, I don't think, she said, "Oh, it's gutting," and you said, "I don't think it's gutting." And I'd just been like, that's not your ground, only me can say if it's gutting or not, because it's my feelings. I think it's just being aware of that facts and feelings thing, but other than that, I think you otherwise were extremely gentle, empathetic, so what's the word, like cajoling and kind of...
Yeah, I don't want to alienate her, you're right.
No, it's going for you, but not for me.
I thought you as you settled into it, I thought you were really smart in the way that you positioned how you could help each other, particularly when it came to the stock you've already bought. How you were prepared to look at the pricing of that as long as you could get the space for it. So I thought trying to establish that middle ground was really collaborative, and the joint working piece with the teams again just emphasised that. I thought in the setup, to me it came across like quite a closed setup. Like there wasn't any room for her to go, and a couple of times I think you were quite quick off the mark. As soon as she said something, you kind of said something right back, which I think if you softened the touch, it might actually, I think it might make your position even more sort of stronger, as it were. But as I said, like overall, I thought it was really collaborative actually, and really empathetic, as the guys have said, and really understanding as well about the fact that she was new and has adopted some things that you were already agreed in the past, like that was locked down, now you change the goalposts, essentially is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I thought you were coming across in a really empathetic manner to that. The other piece I thought was the common goal here, I think, between the two of you is ultimately delivering for the customer. And I think maybe you could have dialed that up in certain places if you wanted to. But overall, yeah, really impressed.
I think your body language, you're very still and calm, actually,
Yeah.
which I was quite surprised about. I don't know why, but it came across so well. And what it enabled you to do, you've got that reassuring presence, which enabled that atmosphere for Donna to actually. She was asking for your help, yeah, and thanking you.
Yeah.
You allowed her to feel comfortable. But you allowed her to feel comfortable to do that. So that was really reassuring. Yeah, that stillness played to your benefit, evidently.
Can I give you some feedback that I've heard from other people in marketing? Like, it doesn't happen across the board, but quite a lot. Some people in marketing feel that colleagues in commercial treat them like they treat suppliers. So it can come across really red, really domineering. This is no option. You don't understand. Blah blah blah. And you didn't do that at all. You came across as really collaborative, and that was like, I think it said volumes about you. So just do that. Continue to do that for the future, because people will want to work with you that way.
Okay. Donna?
I wasn't quite sure at the beginning how I felt about you sort of coming and telling me that, I didn't have any options and this was just how it was going to be.
Yeah.
But it was great because I didn't feel patronised in any way. I didn't feel like you were laying down the law.
Okay.
You were just really honest and calm and reassuring were the two words that I kept thinking. I felt that by the end of it, I did feel I could come to you and say, "Oh, actually, we are in an absolute state, aren't we? Can you help me?" and all that collaborative language that you were using was really, really reassured me and really made me think, oh, actually, someone's got my back.
Mhm.
You know, I felt really supported. And I think that's, you know, that in this situation, it felt like that was something really important.
Mhm.
And
that is actually,
yeah,
to our both ways.
yeah.
Our relationship, it is really important.
And I just thought that that was a really sensitive angle to approach that issue from. And I think that's, I don't know if that was necessarily the way that it would go in real life, but I felt that there was certainly a great deal of sensitivity, a great deal of working together.
Mhm.
And yeah, it felt very safe. I didn't feel attacked, I felt very kind of looked after. So that was good.
Okay.
I think that's really important, especially because in a can-be blame culture, we all inherit things, and then you don't want to either blame your predecessor or be accountable for something that wasn't really your fault, especially like day one, which is often the way you are actually blamed from it straight away.
Yeah.
And but just to say it up front, this is this, and I totally get it, you're brilliant, but in different words is a really, I mean, it would make me do anything if someone said, oh, this is a bit rubbish, but let's do this together, it's not your fault. Then it sort of makes you think, oh, okay, I don't need to be frightened or prove that I'm really good at this or something.
Yeah.
So
That's good, because I want her to feel in the real world. Whilst her changing things has actually messed up the whole plan, she is doing it for the right reason. And actually what she could do, to me, is say, sod you, stock isn't my KPI, love, crack on, it's your problem, not mine, and put BWS and it'll take more money and we'll all go happy ever after. That's the ultimate. It's not the right customer message, it's not Tesco, but that ultimately could happen. And actually for it to work going forwards, it needs to be that relationship for both, both ways, because next month it'll flip.
Yeah.
It needed to. So, okay.
I think the other thing that I just noted down, you talked about what the future was, so 6 months, and how we'll be going forward, which was great, in terms of just taking us out of what we're in right now and lifting it a little bit. And you also used a bit of scarcity and contrast, so in terms of, it was the deadlines, using the deadline, well actually, if I don't know about this here, we can't do anything. So again, just it's very factual, but I think that's very fitted in terms of the techniques. Brilliant. Well, thank you.